Sporty Shorty.
Hey,
How you
what's
doing
going
today?
on? I'm alright. How you doing?
Good, good, good. So before we get into today's video,
Yep.
let's just remind the folks, if you're liking these videos that we've been putting out so far, please don't forget to hit the like button. And we'd love for you to subscribe and join the Sporty Shorty community.
Yeah, that's facts.
That's
Sporty
right.
Shorty 517.
That's right.
Alright, so without further ado, about to get into my new video.
Mm-hmm.
I've been talking a lot about Donovan Mitchell lately. That's still one of my hot topics right now, but I want to shift it a little bit
Okay.
into what if the Knicks do not get him? Because there's always a chance in trades that you don't get the player that you've been gunning for.
Correct.
And there's a chance that they don't get him. It's likely that they do, but there's also a slight chance that they don't end up getting Donovan Mitchell. And I kind of want to go over the current Knicks, the ones that actually signed it on the team and the rotation. And I'm actually kind of excited about the current team.
All right. Because preseason is going to be starting.
Preseason is going to be starting September 28th.
Okay. Oh, so we have a month.
You got a month left, but you want to kind of know what your team is going to be going into the season. You don't want to start training camp. Training camp starts September 28th. Preseason starts, I think, October 5th. But even during the training camp, you want to know who your team is going to be. You don't want to have all these other uncertainties hanging over your head.
Right. Which you alluded to it, and I think
I think I said it. I said it before. But I've been putting a lot of focus on Donovan Mitchell, which, again, I want him on the team. But at the same time, it's a situation where it's an uncertainty still. It's likely, but it's an uncertainty.
Right.
So I want to go into the Knicks starting lineup, or what I perceive the Knicks starting lineup to be coming up. Obviously, they don't have their rotation set because it's still early. But this is what I think when I look at the rotation, when I look at the roster that they have right now. So at point guard, I think it's a no-brainer that Jalen Brunson is going to start. He's their star point guard that they just got. They paid him a lot of money. He's going to be the starting point guard. And I'm excited about him. He was the second best player on the Dallas Mavericks after Luka Doncic, who's a superstar. But Jalen Brunson, I just think he's gonna add a very positive element to the team in terms of his scoring, his playmaking. I think his playmaking is going to be even more valuable than his scoring because they didn't really have that last year as a constant on their team. There was always a lack of playmaking ability in certain cases. So I think Jalen Brunson is going to be a very good add to the team. I'm very excited about him. He will be the starting point guard. His backup, one of my favorite players in the league forever, has been Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, I think, arguably is probably the best backup point guard in the league. You know, he's capable of starting, but with his injury history and his age, he's probably better suited to be a backup point guard at this point in his career. And I think he's going to be slotted in the perfect spot, backing up Jalen Brunson.
Got it.
That's the point guard rotation right there. That's who I think is going to play. They also have Miles McBride at point guard. I think he's getting better. He was in summer league, he's getting better, but I think he's still in his developmental stages. So I think he's going to be more of an understudy to those guys. He probably will only play due to injury or foul trouble.
Okay.
But he's also somebody to watch because he's getting a lot better. He's a great defender, and he's got a lot of heart.
Nice.
So I like him. He's a young kid, but I like him. He's got a lot of potential.
Got it.
So that's the point guard position. I'm very excited with where the point guard position is. Shooting guard. This might throw somebody for a loop, but I think Quentin Grimes is ready to be the starting shooting guard.
Okay.
Last year, it was Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, depending on who you see as the small forward or the shooting guard. But this coming year, if Quentin Grimes still on the team, I want to slot Quentin Grimes in as the starting two guard. Defensively, he's probably the best two guard they have. And he's the best three-pointer on the team. His 3-point shooting is crazy.
Okay.
So yeah, I think he's going to be the guy at 2 guard. At least I think that's where Tom Thibodeau should put him as the starting 2 guard. His backup, I think, will be Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley has been there for the past few years. He's another up-and-coming player. I like him off the bench. He's probably capable of starting, but I like him off the bench. I like the energy he brings off the bench.
Okay.
So Emmanuel Quickley at the 2. That's probably going to be the shooting guard lineup. I'm hoping that's what it is. They may start Evan Fournier there if he's still on the team. I'd rather Evan Fournier come off the bench. At small forward, I got R.J. Barrett. No surprise there.
No surprise there.
I've been talking about R.J. Barrett. He's my guy on that team. And I like him. He plays shooting guard and small forward. I prefer him as a small forward.
Okay.
He's about 6'6". He's strong, and he's big enough to play the small forward position. I like him slotted as a small forward, starting small forward. I don't have to say much about R.J. Barrett. He deserves that spot. He's a starter on the team already, and I think he's always going to continue to be a starter as long as he's there. And he gets better every single year. Because I'm looking forward to another jump from him in terms of his scoring average and just his all-around play. I think he's going to be even better this season. So that's a lot to be excited about. Backing him up now, I have Evan Fournier there. I have Fournier backing up R.J. Barrett as a small forward. I think that would be a great spot for Evan Fournier.
Okay.
He doesn't have to start. He doesn't have to deal with the pressure of starting. He can come off the bench and kind of find his spot and find his role off the bench. He'd probably end up being the 6th man on the team. So I see him coming in, giving them instant offense off the bench, and not having so much pressure on him in terms of being in the starting lineup.
Right.
I think he's going against second units on other teams, which takes pressure off of him. And I think that would be a perfect role for him if he remains on the team.
Nice.
Cam Reddish now. Cam Reddish is a small forward, probably / power forward. He'll probably play a little bit. I don't know how much. He has so much potential, but he hasn't realized his potential completely. I don't really know how much he's going to play. He has to make a jump this year, I feel. You know, and I just don't know. He's one of those guys that you put him out there and sometimes you're like, wow, this dude made the NBA. Sometimes it's like that. And I'm not trying to diss him. It's just, I feel like he has so much talent. And the thing is he's kind of inconsistent. But I think he has so much potential. I think he's one of those guys that you look at and you're like, you know what, he could be an all-star just based on his talent level. But you also look at him and say, you know what, he may not ever be anything more than a role player. So it's kind of hard. He's still young, so he has time for his career to really take off. But I think around now is like really when you want to see, you know, what he's actually going to become. So I think this is a big year for Cam Reddish.
Do you have any ideas on what could be holding him back?
I think he could be a better defender. I think his defense sometimes is lacking. I think maybe it's a level of focus. I don't know if it's focus. I don't know if it's maybe not being aggressive enough at times. But he has all the talent in the world. I just think he has to put it together. Maybe he has to be on a certain team for that to happen. Sometimes it's your role on the team. Sometimes it's not getting enough opportunities. It could be a number of things. I don't think it's all his fault. You know, I just sometimes think it's your environment. You know, the team you're on, the opportunities you get. So it can vary.
Got it.
You know, but I think this has to be a big season for him, whether he's on the Knicks or not. I think this is a big season. But I like him, though. I'm not dissing him. I like him. But I just don't know, you know, where he's going to go at this point.
Got it.
Hopefully he has a great season coming up. We're going to go on to the power forward position. I believe Julius Randle will be the starting power forward. Now, that's controversial in terms of him being on the team. There's a lot of Knicks fans that don't want him on the team. Management seems to believe in Julius Randle. He had a down year last year, but they're hoping that he has a bounce back year as his previous year.
Okay.
They're hoping that he comes back and has that type of season. I am too. If he remains on the Knicks, I want him to have a good season. I don't hate Julius Randle. I just didn't like his body language last season. And I didn't think he was a team player last season. But he has tremendous talent. And if he has a bounce back year, the Knicks fans will be cheering him again. I think he had a problem with being booed last season. And I believe that this year is a big year for him. For him to bounce back and become an all-star again.
Okay.
So that's Julius Randle. His backup will obviously be Obi Toppin if Toppin is still on the team. Toppin has made a huge jump. Well, not a huge jump, but he's made a pretty decent jump since he's been in the league.
Okay.
And he's actually a Knicks fan favorite, Obi Toppin. He's very exciting. And there's a lot of Knicks fans that want him in the starting lineup. If Julius Randle's on the team, I don't think Obi Toppin's in the starting lineup. I think he will continue to back up Julius Randle. And that's the way he should be at this point in his career.
Okay.
Because he's still an up-and-coming player. But, yeah, I think he needs another year or so before he becomes a starting caliber player.
Okay.
But Obi Toppin's still pretty good. At the center position, I'm pretty excited about the center position this year. We have Mitchell Robinson, who has been a starter. I think he tends to get better every single season.
Okay.
So I think he's going to continue on that trend. But I'm excited about Isaiah Hardenstein. They just got him from the Clippers over the summer. He's a very athletic big. He's also a big who has some offensive skills. He can shoot from the outside. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the mid-range jumper. He's, like I said, he's extremely athletic. And he's a pretty good defender at the rim too. So I think the balance of him and Mitchell Robinson is really going to solidify the center position.
Okay.
So I'm really looking forward to him as an addition to the team. Not a lot of people are speaking about him, but I think he's going to be a very big add to the team this season.
Okay.
So that's really my Knicks roster. I'm very excited about their roster this season. And I'm hoping we can get back to where we were before last season, the season before, where we were actually in the playoffs.
Right.
So I'm hoping we can get back to becoming a playoff team again. Again, I'm really excited about Jalen Brunson and Isaiah Hardenstein being added to the squad. And hopefully the Donovan Mitchell deal does go through and we do add him on. But at this point, he's not on the team. And like I said, there's time because the training camp won't start until about, I think, September 28th. So there's time. But just in case, if that does not happen, there's still reason to be, for Knicks fans, there's still reason to be excited about the team. If he's not there, you have Knicks fans that are all in on Donovan Mitchell. I'm in if the deal is right. If the deal is not right, then you know what? I'm still excited about the current Knicks squad. So I'll leave it there.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.
Not a problem. See you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Peace. All right.